Hi guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. Please don't forget to follow my Instagram at Belle's Books and check out my website www.bellesbooks.co.uk, and please like this video and subscribe for more content. I'm so excited to start getting to know you and just hanging out with you. So today I'm going to be reviewing a book, What Lies Between Us by John Mars, and this is basically a shocking psychological thriller, and it had me on the edge of my seat, frantically turning pages as I rushed to learn what was going on. It tells the story of a twisted mother-daughter relationship, and it describes the extreme possible consequences of lies and abuse. If you don't like thrillers, you probably won't like this book. So I'm just going to start by giving you a short synopsis, and then we can get into talking about what I thought, although no spoilers, of course. So, Nina lives alone with Maggie. Maggie stays indoors and Nina works at a library. Every other night, Nina takes Maggie downstairs and they eat dinner together. After they've eaten, Nina takes Maggie back to her room and chains her to the bed. Maggie kept secrets from Nina and Nina will never forgive her for that. But Nina hasn't discovered everything, and Maggie will take the rest of her secrets to the grave. Okay, so I wrote that synopsis myself based on the original synopsis and what I know happens, and I tried to make it sound scary, and I hope it did, because this book is actually scary and I wanted to convey that to you. All the characters are really unpredictable and volatile, and it's impossible to know what they're going to do next. Mars takes you on this crazy journey and there are all kinds of plot twists. I was actually really impressed by this aspect of the novel, and I found the plot twists really creative. I wasn't able to anticipate them. Sometimes you might think that it's disappointing when you can't anticipate a plot twist. I know that personally I like to see things coming, but I did find that in this case the surprise was nice, and it was very clear that his writing was really original, perhaps more original than a lot of other thrillers I've read. It was, however, insanely unrealistic. You know, sometimes you read a thriller and you're like, yeah, that could happen, like I could see that happening, and that kind of makes it even more scary. This book, there's no way it could have happened. It's actually insane. Like, the fact that none of this came out over like 30 or 40 years is ridiculously insane, and I think there are some perhaps plot holes in things not being discovered. But I didn't really mind this because I was aware that it was fiction, and I was able to kind of think, okay, yep, that's not possible, but it's okay, I don't really mind that it's not possible. The big thing that I found was that I hated both the main characters, Maggie and Nina, and I actually really enjoyed that process of hating them. There were moments in the novel when I thought that I would like one of them, and I was kind of siding with one of them, but then Mars would undo that and kind of put me back in square one, and neither of them were likable, and if they were likable, it was only for really brief moments. But that was kind of a good thing, because the way I saw it was I didn't want to like either of them because I didn't want to identify with either of them or be like either of them, and so them not being likable helped me separate them from myself and didn't make me feel like I was anything like them, which is a really good thing because they were both terrible, terrible people. So it was just kind of fun to sit and read and learn about them, because, you know, they're not real, and not have to identify with them or relate to them. So What Lies Between Us is a really dark novel, in case that wasn't clear, but it is dark in a good way. It has some hard themes, like there's abuse of all kinds, and I would be careful about recommending this to someone who has sensitivities to those topics, like sexual abuse, emotional abuse, or physical abuse, because the novel does frequently describe and focus on those topics or allude to them when they're more severe. It wasn't a favourite, but I really did enjoy reading it. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone who didn't like thrillers or was sensitive about this topic, and I think it suits you if you're a very niche reader and you kind of want to step outside the usual thriller authors that you read. Personally, I do enjoy a thriller and I do enjoy murder mystery and stuff like that, but I do like to read them in the daytime and follow them up with some kind of romantic book that kind of gets me off that thought process. So if you're much like me, then you might enjoy this book to read in the sunshine while it's nice and sunny, but not at night time. So I thought I'd give you some recommendations, and the first recommendation list I have are other thrillers that you might like, and then the next ones are kind of romances, which you might like if you've read a thriller recently and you wanted to follow it up with something a little bit more light-hearted. So the thrillers I have are When I Was You by Minka Kent, The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, What You Did by Claire McGowan, A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight, and notice that all of these thrillers I've listed are by different authors, and that's because I have this theory that thriller novelists, they always write the same books over and over again. So I hate reading books by the same author when they're a thriller, because I feel like they just regurgitate the ideas and the themes, and so maybe you could read 2 of them, but reading 3 is basically impossible. So I thought it'd be good to give you a range of different authors so you didn't run into this issue where basically it's just the same plot with different characters and a few different themes. So if you'd like a pick-me-up novel, I have some great recommendations too. The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary, which is a romance. Dumped Actually by Nick Spalding, which is kind of a romance, kind of a self-help, self-discovery book. And #No Filter by Maxine Mori. So please do let me know in the comments down below if you have any other book recommendations for me, or if you'd like me to review a book for you so that you can find out whether or not you should read it. I hope you have a great day. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content, and follow me on my Instagram @bellsbooks, or check out my website www.bellsbooks.co.uk. Have a great day!